Flötzinger Weihnachtsbier.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Band Bikes and Booze Reviews. One from Germany, surprise, surprise. And it is the Weihnachtsbier from Flötzinger Weihnachtsbier. What does that mean? Well, have a look at the label. What do you reckon? Hang on, get autofocus doing its thing. Yep, it's a Christmas beer. And I really don't know what to expect from this because I've been looking online and I was trying to find out what style of beer it was. And even on the Flötzinger, I should pronounce it, website, it didn't say what it was. So I really don't know. All I know it's a light coloured beer. There's nothing else. And I've got Percy down here looking at me and I don't know what he's after. Actually that's a lie. I know exactly what he's after. He's after some grub. Right, come up here, mate. Well, this is your 15 minutes of fame for today. What have you been up to, eh? Jesus Christ, that new dog we've got, Dora, she has fucking chewed everything up really badly. She got she had to get taken home today. She went round the daughter-in-laws and they've got a Labrador and she absolutely terrorised it, so she had to get taken home. What's up with you? Because I'm talking about another dog. You getting the arsehole, are you? What's the matter with you? Oh, Christ almighty, Percy, can you sit properly? He's trying to cross his legs, would you believe it? He's trying to cross his fucking legs. Like he's got some kind of sophistication going on. What was I saying? Yeah, she got to get taken home and put in doggy jail because she was basically fucking disrupting everyone in the house. So yeah, she got taken home. Right, what was I talking about? I've just finished work. I've had a manic day and I'm all over the place. Right, we're looking at this stuff. This is the Flötzinger Weihnachtsbier from the Flötzinger Brewery, who are based in Rosenheim. Percy, you're fucking gonna have to go down, mate, because you don't know what the fuck you're trying to do. They're based in a place called Rosenheim, which is in Bavaria. And if you're wondering whereabouts in Bavaria, it's southeast Bavaria, just southeast of Munich, going towards the Austrian border. Now, the brewery's been going since 1543 and they say that they're the oldest brewery in Rosenheim. I'm not sure how many breweries there are in Rosenheim, but this is the oldest one, but it's also the only independent one as well. And its original family did give up the brewery, I think in the 1800s, and it's now in the hands of the Steegmüller family. Originally, as I say, this brewery was founded in 1543. It was issued a brewing licence in 1543 by Duke Wilhelm IV of Bavaria, and they've been brewing ever since. Now, during World War II, I sound like Uncle Albert, don't I?
Well, if you say during the war once more, I'm going to pour this cup of tea right over your head.
But during World War II, Rosenheim was flattened. The reason being, it was quite an important transportation hub between Munich, Innsbruck and somewhere else, Salzburg, that was it. So the Allies pounded the living shit out of it. And it was more or less flattened. A lot of buildings were destroyed, certainly all the major railway junctions and all that. I'm not sure whether the brewery was destroyed because, again, as I say on the website, there's not a lot of information about the brewery. Which is a shame, really. I wouldn't mind finding out a little bit more of them. But continuing on the war theme, I promise I'm not going to do an Uncle Albert, but continuing on the war theme, Rosenheim, there were two reasons. If you know your history, there was one very well-known character and another not so well-known character from the German army and the Luftwaffe during World War II. Both actually. I'm lying. Both Luftwaffe. Hermann Göring, he was from Rosenheim, and a fellow called Hans Ulrich Rudel was also from Rosenheim. Hans Ulrich Rudel, of course, was the famous Stuka pilot. If you look him up on Wikipedia, and you'll see how much damage he did to the Russians, there was a fucking hell of a lot. I think he destroyed warships and everything with his plane. Yeah, absolute fucking maniac. But yeah, quite an unsavoury character after the war as well. Dubious politics, and yeah, less said about that the better. Anyway, I've got Percy jumping up on me. Percy doesn't know what the fuck is going on today, do you? Hey? Calm it down. Fucking face on him, if you can only see it. Right, I'm waffling here, aren't I? So let's fucking get this open and see what's going on. Right, before we get it open, let's see what it is. Now, this really is a shabby review on my part because, oh well, I should have got this from the off, but it's a 500ml bottle. It's 5.5%. On the back, it's got this as a Vollbier export hell. Percy, what the fuck? It's got it as a Vollbier export hell. Oh, you fucking hell! This dog has got some fucking weight on him. See ya, turn it into a right lard arse, isn't ya? And no, he hasn't taken after the fucking owner either before you lot started. He's going to be breathing down the microphone because his fucking nose is right near it. So if you see any, or you hear any heavy breathing, that's not me, that's him. It's a Vollbier hell, which, what has that got to do with Christmas? I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. What do you reckon, Perce? Hey? Yeah, and that's about it really. Doesn't really give any indication. Well, there's a lot of stuff in German which I am not going to try and read because all the German viewers will absolutely piss themselves laughing. But yeah, I'd imagine this is just a usual Reinheitsgebot Helles job. So let's get on to the next section. Right, let's get it open. I feel a bit of a fraud now because I haven't given you much history of the brewery. I haven't given you much history of the beer. So, yeah, I'm kind of winging it on this one, but it's not for the want of trying. But Percy, this is not going to end well for either of us because that beer is going to go over and I can see it. And then you'll be looking at me as if it's my fault. Fucking hell, mate. There you go. Stay down there and try and do as little damage as possible. Fucking hell. Right, here's the cat. There you go. I'm not making a big thing about doing Christmas beers. I have got a few Christmas beers coming in, but I'm going to be reviewing them and normal beers as well. I know everyone goes mental reviewing all the Christmas beers, but I ain't going to do that. I think it's just, well, who buys Christmas beer at Christmas, eh? I don't get it personally, but beer is beer. Drink whatever you like. Apart from French beer. There it is in the glass. On the nose. And that smells cheap. Very cheap. Almost macro. What the hell is going on with that? Really? Oh, hang on. I may have been a little bit hasty. But it was very grainy, and it was like that cheap grain that you get on certain macro brewed beers. But there's a sulphur to this as well, and I've got this in a few Bavarian beers, and I'm wondering if this is going to be in the same vein as that. Now, I did try it recently, the Tuka. Well, I say recently, it was fucking last year. Was it the year before? I have no idea. Do you know, them 2 years of lockdown has just fucking thrown all my sense of time out the window. But yeah, it's got that. It's a mixture between sulphur, lemon, and honey, if you can imagine that. Now, in theory, that doesn't sound too bad, but it wasn't really working on some of them other beers. And funny enough, they were Bavarian beers as well. They came from Bamberg. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure whether this is going to be a good one, but proof is in the tasting, as I always say. So, zum Wohl, as they say in Germany. Wow, that's very... Oh, wow, what a finish on that. The finish is huge. and it actually doesn't taste too bad. There is hardly any carbonation in there, which is really strange. If you look at that, it's got some small CO2 bubbles in there, but mouthfeel is kind of flat. This is chilled, it's come out of the fridge. Again, no recommended temperature as to what I should be serving this at, but got a funny taste to it. And again, it's that sulphurous taste. It's got elements of that. There's a little bit of honey on top, a little bit of lemon citrus. But the saving grace on this beer is the finish. It's massive, and it's like white bread, fresh white bread, if you can imagine that. And I'll go as far as to say the honey on this, I'm imagining it's coming from the yeast, but it tastes almost, well, put it this way, it's reminded me of the Fuller's Honeydew. Now, I had a bottle of that quite fresh from the Fuller's Brewery recently. It came in that hamper, and I'll tell you what, it tasted quite a lot like this. And I really liked it, and I remember thinking that, I know I keep going on about Fuller's, you know, I will get over my obsession with the brewery, but I remember thinking whilst I was drinking it, now that is a organic honey golden ale, and I remember drinking it and I was thinking, this could pass off as a Bavarian Helles. It really could. It had all them elements of honey that you get on German beers, good German beers, from that sweet kind of yeast, but you also had big sweetness from the malt on there as well, and it really worked. And as I say, the Honeydew is one of my favourite golden ales. I think it's a fantastic beer. I really do like it. I think, as I say, it's a top fermented golden ale, but if you drink that fresh and you drink it cold, that could pass off as a really good Bavarian Helles. And this is what this is reminding me of. I think as well what's doing it is the mouthfeel is really, really smooth. It's like there's no carbonation in it at all, which is kind of putting me in mind of again of a good quality golden ale. So I don't know, maybe this has got something going for it. But can you see that? I want you to, there's hardly any carbonation in there at all, considering this is a Helles. Now it's got a good head on that as well. Yeah, he said good head. And it isn't bad, I have to say. But what the fuck has that got to do with Christmas? I really don't understand. They've brought a lager out. I mean, I was ranting and raving about the Christmas abominations that the House of Trembling Madness has sent me last year in their Christmas hamper. That was a fucking joke. It really was. But it would appear that the Germans do. I'm not saying they do that, but they brought out a Helles, and because effectively that's what it is, and they've just slapped a load of Christmas daubery on it and called it a Christmas beer or a Weihnachtsbier. Weihnachts, I think that's how it's pronounced. But all things considered, it isn't too bad. The aroma is slightly different. There's a lot of the toasted breads that you get on Bavarian beers, but there is that sulphur that you occasionally get on Bavarian beers, but there's a lemon citrus and a honey to that as well. And they're all apparent in the flavour too. I'm wondering if that's something to do with the water. Who knows? It's not bad. As I say, it reminds me of the Fuller's Honeydew. A fresh bottle of Fuller's Honeydew. So, yeah, I'm quite warming to that. At first I thought this is going to be a bit shit, to be honest. The grains on the aroma smelt really cheap. And I think it was possibly down to, well, I don't know what it was down to, but that was my perception. In a blindfold test, I would have said this is a bit of a dodgy macro brew. But the flavour's quite nice, quite clean. I don't think there's any nasties in there that I can discern. No, it's quite nice. Quite a lot of honey or honey flavours, and I'm assuming that's coming from the yeast. But it's really nice. I do like that. That's not a bad one. But what the fuck has it got to do with Christmas? I would just call it a Helles, and it's come out of the fridge. It is chilled, which I think is the way you should be, or the temperature you sort of should be drinking a Helles at. But very nice. But to be honest, it's putting me in mind of a summer beer rather than a Christmas beer. But hey ho, good beer is good beer. So what's the verdict on the Flötzinger Weihnachtsbier? Well, I had a couple of reservations on the aromas. The grain smelt a little bit cheap. The honey that was in there was quite pleasant, but I think when you get that sulphurous aroma coupled with that cheap grainy smell, I was really fearing the worst, and I thought, fucking hell, is this going to be another bad, well, not to say another bad beer. There have been a few bad beers from Bavaria, but I was thinking this was going to go on the list as well. But it isn't too bad, actually. I'm reasonably happy with that. Let me check the price on it. I want to see what they were charging. Flötzinger Weihnachtsbier. They've got this from the House of Trembling Madness. $3.45. That's a little bit steep, in my opinion. You're effectively paying that for a Helles, regardless of the flim flam on the label. You can get Augustiner cheaper than that, and it will fucking knock socks off of that. You can get the St. Georgen boy Helles, because I'm going to compare it with a Helles. I'm not comparing it with Christmas beers. That's a fucking Helles. Don't try and bullshit me with your marketing flim flam, because it ain't going to fucking work. But it's not bad. All things considered, it isn't bad. It's not amazing. It's not outstanding. The price is a little concerning, because there's better, much better beer, infinitely better Helleses for less money. So for that reason, I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. All things considered, it isn't bad, and it's quite pleasant. Again, as I say, it's putting me in mind of the Fuller's Honeydew, a fresh bottle of Fuller's Honeydew. But to be honest, I wouldn't go out your way to buy this. £3.45 from the House of Trembling Madness. They have got much better beers for less money than that. And I'll give you an example, right? Because I've got a couple of beers on here. Fucking hell. Oh no. I'm just looking at some of the beers. I've got the Sam Smith's Winter Welcome on here, and I looked at the total, and it was $7.98. But I just remembered I bought two. They're $3.99 each. What have we got that's cheaper? What have we got? Please don't. Well, the Einingel Winterbock, that is £3.40, so it's 5p cheaper. That's a lovely beer. I really did enjoy that. But yeah, nothing on this. Well, put it this way: Tint Meadow is $2.75. That's 330ml. But it's a different style of beer, so I'm talking absolute bollocks. But you know what the price of Augustiner is. It's relatively cheap. I don't see a reason to spend that much money on a German Helles when there is much better examples for less money. That's my final word. 7 out of 10. Not really recommended considering the price, but it's not a bad beer on its own. That's why it's got a 7 and not more. And remember, beer is working class champagne.